Hey everybody, my name is Skye and we are here with Marabella and Skye for the full moon ceremony. So welcome everybody, and I'll let Marabella introduce this because she is the moon cacao spiritual gateway expert. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Skye. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here today, and welcome to this special ceremony. This is our Lionsgate full moon 8/8 cacao ceremony. For Skye, it's 8/8. For us, it'll be 8/8 tomorrow. And so this is a very, very special time. This is a time where manifestations come true really quickly. We are about maybe a little over halfway through our year. And so it's a really good time right now to look at our New Year's resolutions that we made in January and see if we want to do any updating. Or like me, I made New Year's resolutions. I wrote them all down and I lost them. It was like the universe had other plans for me. It went totally different.
I'm glad you said that though, because on New Year's Day, as the sun rose, my friend Heidi and I wrote out all our intentions for the year. So I'm going to go back through this.
Yes, it's such a good time to reevaluate what's working, what's not, what maybe you want to add to, take away, see what's already, like appreciate what's already happened from your list. It's such a great time, so much fun, so much fantastic energy.
Yes.
And did you bring cacao? Did anybody bring something to drink today?
I tried it, so there's lipstick on it.
Oh, really good. Kind of took a little break on cacao, kind of like I did last month, so that when I do the ceremony, I would be like fully invested and just feeling almost like feeling the cacao for the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I've been kind of doing that too. I don't do it as well. I had one last weekend. I just didn't finish it, but I do like having these in the ceremony. It's like something extra special, right?
Really special time. Yeah. So whatever you brought, if you brought your cacao, if you brought something else, if you want to run and go get a drink of choice, that's great. If you don't have anything to drink, we'll just put our hands on our hearts. And so grab whatever you have or don't have and bring your cup to your heart. And we're just going to tune into our heart center right now, taking a nice deep breath in and letting go. Now for people in the United States, we've been up all day. Go ahead and just release anything that's happened in your day so that you can be here now with us. And if you're just waking up like Skye first thing in the morning, just be present, letting go of maybe your dreams, letting go of what you need to do today, and just be really present. We're just going to come right into our heart center and take a nice deep breath in and a nice cleansing breath out. Maybe bringing up any intentions that you would like to set for the ceremony or for the second half of the year, knowing that this is such a great time for manifestation. The energies are so powerful. And then taking a nice deep drink of your cacao. Really tasting it and being in appreciation for all of the hands that have touched it, the people that were growing the cacao, the amazing earth that it grew from, the sun, having just appreciation for the nature, all the elements, the rain, the air, all the elements that helped us to sustain not only the cacao, but for us. And just taking a minute to be present here, tuning into gratitude. Let's take another sip. And just welcoming everybody here. And for the next few minutes, we're just going to come together as if we were in a circle, maybe even holding hands, tuning into and appreciating ourselves for being here. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And kind of what I wanted to bring to the ceremony this time, I think from last full moon to this full moon has had its shares of ups and downs. And Skye, there's something that I just have been tuning into so strongly is, what is the blessing in this moment? Like, even when something happens that is not what you think is not for you, or what I would think would be for me, how can I pivot that? And what I've been doing lately is saying, what is the blessing in this for me? What is, and you know, if we tune into what is the blessing, it's like our brains are kind of tricked into finding what that blessing is. And so it might not come immediately, like, oh yeah, this horrible thing happened and I know why. It's not like fake positivity. It's truth. And it might come to us later, you know, when we're out taking the dog for a walk, or, you know, out mowing the lawn, or whatever we're doing. And we might get that sense of, okay, I see now where the blessing is in this. And I feel like when we are kind of thinking about what our intentions were in the past and how we want to go forward with intentions, we can say, you know, what is the blessing in this? What is, maybe this didn't work out. Okay, so what is in this for me? How can I tweak it? How can I make it work? How can I appreciate it more, even if it's not exactly the way we want it? Or if it is, we can say, yeah, that's a true blessing. Going forward without fear, going forward with love in our hearts, and really in appreciation.
I could not agree more. I feel like that is, and what you have to understand, this is what I do. Like, I live for this. I always see the positive in everything, but you have to start doing it and then you default back to it. So even if in the moment it seems like it's a massive tragedy, out of my greatest tragedies has come my greatest strengths. And it takes time for those strengths to evolve from the tragedy. But as you, like, you know, me missing most of my life and being very sick, and people might be like, that's so horrible, that happened to you. And I'm like, but it's the reason I do what I do today. You take that away, I don't have the strength. But you start looking at anything negative with positive outlook and you default to it. So at the start, anytime you start something new, it can seem like a lot of work, but it's because you're like reprogramming your brain and your soul. So anytime something happens, you start to go, well, what good came out of that? What did I learn from that? Because I find most of what I learn is from my hiccups or struggles, or that's where I really learn.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. Yeah. And I had a couple of experiences this month too with, I went to a beautiful wedding. My friend got married. It was so lovely. And there was a lot of vegan food there, a lot of cooked vegan food. And I ate a lot of it because it was so delicious. But then the next day I was really, really sick. I was throwing up sick. And I think I thought that I could live life like my old self, who would have been able to eat that cooked vegan food and been fine with it. And I learned that I'm evolving and I'm changing, and to really tune into my heart, which is something that I've learned over time, is to really tune back into this place, into my heart, and ask what's good for me. I didn't do that. I just thought, oh, it's vegan. That's great. They thought of me. I feel good. I was a guest that was thought of. So I need to eat all this food because they especially made sure that it was there for me. And instead of tuning into what is the best for me at that time. And so the blessing in that is that I can share this story with everyone. And also is that I'm realizing like we're all evolving. And even if we have hiccups, like you said, Skye, we learn from them. We learn from our hiccups.
We do. I do feel like this month has been a lot of things coming up from my past and having to let them go. Like that, like you're saying, I have evolved and things that I did in the past don't always serve me now. But also there's things that I'm very accepting of myself as well. So it's been like, I feel like it's been a month just like you described, like it's the Lionsgate, lots of shifting, lots coming up, lots of changing, but also open to manifesting our dreams. And also letting go of what doesn't serve us. Like, as you said, like now you know. I feel like this is why I don't get on my soapbox or my YouTube channel. I'm like, you need to do this, then you're wrong. And because people need to learn through experience. Because what I can tell somebody, you can't beat someone into submission, but you can say, I did this and I tried this, and people might resonate with part of it and move into that energy and see what serves them. And then they have the imprint and the memory inside them as to how it works in their body. And that is what I want for people, is I feel like that learn, because we're here, it's a journey. We're here to learn and experience different levels of consciousness in ourselves. So
yes, absolutely, 100%. And I wanted to just take a moment. I think I might have done this before, but I have a book and it's called Petals of Love. And so this is kind of Mama Cacao's channelings through me for her gift to humanity. And I want to talk about, or just kind of tune into the heart chakra and do some heart chakra activations.
Sure. Also, this is Marabella's book. So she's written this book. I'm pretty sure it's in the description. I will double check. You guys can buy it from Amazon and follow along. And I have this sitting next to my bed. That's why it's not.
Oh, really?
I love it. Because it makes me feel so
yes,
good.
even just having it, even if you just have it next to your bed as Skye does, or have it on your coffee table, it has such great energy and such great vibrations. I've gotten back into meditation this between full moons as well. And I just kind of do a simple candle meditation where I gaze at the candle. And then I close my eyes and I see like the flicker of the candle, and I just let go. I let go and the peace washes over me, and I feel like I'm able to go through the ups and downs of life so much easier. I've had a little bit of just family things with family that have happened to me that I've had to show up in a peaceful state, kind of just be there as a support system. And so I find that meditation really helps me to have a practice, really helps me to show up for my life. And it's not always easy for me to focus. When I first came back to the practice, I would kind of struggle with my focus. So just lovingly, carefully, not beating myself up, I would start slowly. So maybe I would gaze at the candle for 5 minutes and then close my eyes for 5 minutes. And I'm slowly working my way up. I used to meditate like for an hour a day. So I'm slowly making peace with myself, allowing others to be who they are. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about today, is allowing others to be who they are, and how do we still love them even if they're not following a diet that we follow or exercising, or how do we stay present with them, loving, open, and still do our thing and let them do their thing. I have found meditation really helps with that, because when I'm at peace with myself, then it's easier for me to be at peace with the world. The world could be spinning out of control, but I'm like in my quiet place and it feels so good.
I love that. What a beautiful topic.
So let's go back into our heart centers and just close your eyes for a moment, allowing yourself to relax. If you're in a safe place, if you're driving, keep your eyes open, but you can still come into the peaceful place and just relaxing. And I'm going to read to you these heart opening affirmations. I drink in love, and love flows freely through me. And this is a great thing to do as you're sipping your cacao or sipping your drink or whatever. With each sip, my heart opens wider to truth, beauty, and connection. I am worthy of receiving the love I so freely give. Mama Cacao softens the walls around my heart and fills me with divine compassion. It is safe for me to feel. It is safe for me to love. It is safe to be seen. My heart is a sacred garden, and every beat is a prayer of gratitude. I release old grief with every exhale and welcome tenderness with every breath. Cacao awakens the truth. I am whole, I am held, I am loved. My heart speaks clearly when I am present. My body listens with grace. The more I love myself, the more love the world reflects back to me. I offer my heart to the earth, and she offers hers to me. Love is my breath. Love is my medicine. Love is my legacy. So just feel into your heart center for a moment and just be thinking about maybe an intention for this next full moon cycle, maybe an intention or 2 or 3 for the rest of the year. And just see what comes up for you. No pressure, just allow what is to be. And just imagine if you take that intention and really looking at it and just sending so much love to yourself, so much love to that intention, so much love to yourself, and just allowing it to be, or them to be. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes. Oh, how do you feel?
That was beautiful. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
It really was. I hope everyone else was enjoying that. I love your mug there, or your chalice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Someone gave these to me as a gift. And I thought, you know what? These are perfect cacao cups. Perfect
sure
cacao
are.
chalices. Yeah.
They sure are. They're very ritualistic.
Right?
It's a beautiful ritual.
Uh-huh.
So I hope everyone's thinking about this second half of the year and what they want from themselves. Hi, Skye. I know you don't have kids, but Marabella, if you do have any tips on encouraging your kids to be more grateful, I try to lead by example, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Something that I do with my family is once a week, we write down what we're grateful for on little pieces of paper. And then at the end of the year, like on New Year's Eve, we read all the gratitudes. So that's one thing that you can do, is actually like make it fun for your family and write things down. Another thing you can do is write little notes, and you can put what you're grateful for your children. Like, oh, I love the way that you made your bed, or I love the way that you speak so kindly to your sister, and write it down and put it where they eat. And then you can always do like before bed too. Like, well, okay, so put the notes down, and then they'll get a little note, and everyone loves to receive like a little note of praise. And another thing you can do is before bed, do gratefuls, and just say everything that you're grateful for, and then each of your children take a turn. And I have so much fun doing that with my son. We'll even do that on a walk. Like, we'll say, okay, I'll say, let's go on a gratitude walk. And I'll say, I'm really grateful for the way that you showed up for the family. You're very thoughtful. You're very kind. I'm so happy that you decided to cook dinner. That just fills my heart with love. Finding little ways to incorporate little notes or before bedtime. Yeah.
So that was beautiful. I wanted to bring up this because I also feel like at that teenage time is no matter what you do, there's that breakaway where they're don't want to be attached. So there's a lot of rebellion. But I wanted to just say on this, and yes, I don't have any kids, but I think I've shared this, but I don't know whether you've heard this. But so when I hit rock bottom, like where I had no family around me and I was like living by myself, and I was vegan, and I didn't know how I was going to get. Came up for me often was things that occurred as a child. So I couldn't access my academic brain to work out how raw foods works or life works or how I was going to heal myself. But what kept coming up for me was, you have your dad's genes and your dad is always healthy. Why is that? And so I've watched my dad most of my life, right? But it took till I was 40 to work out he got up, exercised every day, would make himself juice every day, would have raw muesli with plant milk every day, have salad sandwiches for lunch. And so don't ever underestimate in love. When it's needed, you'd be surprised what comes up through you. Like, so I guess what I'm saying is, even if you feel underappreciated and it's not working now and the children are breaking away, is there might be a time in their life where it comes into this accumulative effect where they've watched you every day and realized that you seem to be more stable due to gratitude. But I just think like no good act, whether it's self-love or sharing, is like unwatched or not seen by a child. So yeah, he wants nothing to do with me. That's like, I don't know whether you're going to get away from that one, but like, I think long term, I'm thinking of how things came up for me that I'd watched my entire life and not affected me until I couldn't barely crawl.
I can speak to her where she says he wants nothing to do with her. I have a son now. He's 20. But when he was in 7th grade, he began doing homeschool with him. And doing that transition from grade school to homeschool, it was probably the hardest year for me with him. And he wasn't grateful, and he wasn't thankful, and he didn't want me as a teacher. And it was so horrible. And I would why am I doing this? And I heard a voice in my head, like, you're doing this because, you're going to teach him to be a leader. You're going to be a leader. This is what's next for him. This is what's supposed to be. So what I started doing, this is where I got the heart breath. I started tuning into my heart, and I would breathe through my heart as he was speaking to me, because I loved him so much, but he was so mean that I was like, I can't lose my love for him, but I can't fall apart in front of him either. I have to hold my composure and I have to still love him. So I would tune into my heart as he was talking. I would breathe through my heart. And then I started to get compassion for him. I understood where he was coming from. You're starting new school. You're being taught at home. This is weird for you. You feel growing. His hormones were changing. It all felt off for him. And then I remembered when I felt like that too. When I felt so lost, I didn't feel good in my body. I didn't know who I was. I went, going from 7th grade or 6th grade to 7th grade. You're leaving where you were a big kid in school to being a little person again. And so through the heart breathing, and then I would do the heart breathing when I was with him and when I wasn't with him, then I started to send love to the situation. So I would imagine my husband here, me here, and my son here. And I imagine sending love to my husband, to my son. I imagine them sending love back to me. And the situation shifted. It was like magic. And so now that's one of the techniques I teach, and one of the techniques I use with my clients is person. And when you do that, you gain so much compassion that you feel like you're on the same side as them, like the same page, like you get where they're coming from. And so pretty soon, little by little, he came around to the fact now he loved being in homeschool, wouldn't want to do anything else different. So happy for the experience. And I got to stay, hold my composure, allow him to have his feelings. We weren't fighting anymore. I let him know, I'm on your side. I don't want to fight with you. We're going to get along. Because people would say, oh, you guys are going to butt heads. And I'm like, no, why would we? We're on the same side. Why would we butt heads? I'm for him.
It's really comes back to sending love, like we were talking before. Just because somebody eats different to us and they do things we don't want to do in our bodies is, I have learned this even on the raw food journey, is because you get on here and you get very traumatized that people are eating foods that used to make me sick, and I'd be like, they're wrong and don't want to be around that. But in truth, the greatest gift is once I got strong enough that I can gift the world and the people in it is love and compassion, because I was at that stage once. So it's like beautiful that you're sending so much love, and it seems like this really worked.
It's magic. Even when we're afraid of something bigger than us, like what's going on in the world, people are scared. Like when 2020 happened, it was very frightening. And the only thing really we can do is pray and send love. And I find that energy, that universal energy coming down through us and out our hearts is so powerful. Love is like the highest vibration. And it helps us because we develop compassion for others. We can see where they're coming from, and that has a way of softening us, and then we can kind of send energy to them, and it really, really, really does help. So amazing. So yeah,
it's really interesting, and this is all about perception and why people are different. So 2020, when COVID happened, I loved it because all of a sudden I felt like normal, because I'd always been in a bed and always been sick and at home. And so everyone's at home now, and I'm just like when you talk to people and everything, I'm now normal because I do what they do. Yes. And so that is it, once again saying how we can all be put in the same situation, but we see things differently. And that's why, whether children or friends, they eat different, make different choices in the same situation. So, and we just send them love.
Yes.
So, but yeah, like when everyone came home and they're like, what did you do today? And like, I just sat around home watching movies. I'm like, oh, so did I.
Right. Everyone was on the same playing field. We were
Yeah.
all doing the same thing. Yeah. Right.
I think this happened to a lot of people. I was lonely, out of work, and started day drinking. A lot of people, I mean, I became an alcoholic during COVID, but I think whether COVID was there or not, I couldn't work or do anything. It would have happened. But a lot of people I knew were doing the same thing like everybody else, because I was already at home or in hospitals. But for a lot of people, it was a really rough time.
Right. Yeah. It didn't affect me too much. I had the same life during COVID as after, but I was super attuned to people who were struggling. Like it was very frightening, and I felt like for me the best way I could get through it was out in nature. I did tons of hiking, a lot of spiritual connecting and spiritually trying to figure out what was going on. Really trying to keep my vibration so high because everyone was freaking out. And so I wanted to help as much as I could. And I knew that I needed to keep myself centered in order to be of help, to be of service. And so being out in nature was...
I noticed about, because I healed during COVID, and it was actually nice to come out slowly. Like everyone was coming out, you had restrictions, especially in Australia, we were really restricted, but I lived near nature, so I could get into nature. And part of my healing journey was, professors and doctors, and I have a university degree and so many surgeries, and everything was like these apparently experts, but really that healing is what you said, the underestimated power of self-love, self-care, and nature. And you keep repeating that, and it was like it could bloom and blossom something that no expert could do. And so I feel like this happening in COVID was great because everything around me had stopped. And so to sit, you're not trying to catch up. A lot of what happens when we heal is everybody around us is extraordinarily busy. And so we want to like inject ourselves, and we're going to do A, B, C, and D. But because I slowly came out, everyone was slowly coming out, it probably set up the perfect environment for me to heal. But I'm so sorry, that would have been extremely hard to lose somebody during COVID.
Yeah, I see that. Her mom passed away unexpectedly a few months after COVID started. I haven't been the same since. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I didn't have that sort of experience, but when I was really sick, one person who always had my back and cared for me like nothing else was my grandmother. And when I visited her twice, she passed, and Mum always said, once again looking at the bright side, is that she held on. She knew, Skye, you're now well. She let go, and she's gone to where she needed to go. So I always try and like look at things in a way where how can this like benefit myself, the planet, the person?
Yes.
Like Nana was always, her soul was always here for this spiritual journey. She was always going to like a huge like, I couldn't walk up the stairs most Christmases. She, being in her late 80s, would spend like 20 minutes step by step down the stairs to get to me because I couldn't get up. Like she was like always there. And then but I will say what really helps me with all the perception of everything that's occurred to me is raw foods. Like as soon as it just helps me stay present and in gratitude. And I always say, I notice when I have too much dehydrated food or condiments or whatever that aren't like just fresh food, I almost slip straight back into PTSD. Like it's almost like I start living in the past instead of being present. So, and we all have things like that keep us present. So,
yes, I absolutely. When you start saying, where is the blessing in this? Your brain starts to try to find that answer.
True.
So your brain is searching for, how is this a blessing for me? And the key is to stay aware of your thoughts. So if a negative one comes in, you can cancel and replace it with a positive. And so the more you say, how is this a blessing for me? How is this a blessing for me? The more you will see the realization that it can be a blessing.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're faking it, it's that it truly is, because a lot of times life has a way of, it works for us. It's working for us. We just have to see how that is the truth.
I do agree with that. So I hear. I also think I can't express how much, when I was in my sickest throughout my life, that I was usually then at least once a week in a psychologist's office. Well, basically, I look back at trauma dumping. 4 years, like 4 years and years and years. So, and I always say, I feel like I would prepare what I was going to say, get there, and then I'd leave. And for at least a day and a half to 2 days, I'm still thinking about it, okay, what we've gone over. And what was really valuable for me is when I had no tools but outdoors and nature and raw foods and fresh air and self-love and gratitude, is how quickly being in nature and grounded, it keeps you present, but it starts to write a new story. Until I was in nature, I feel like I just kept in victimhood, because I don't know, indoors you don't move forward and into life as much as, for me, raw foods and nature really helped. But it was amazing that once I could get up and go walking and have just music and be disconnected from all this and just sit in nature most of the day, that what felt like was happening was that it wasn't taking away what happened, but it was allowing a path through a stuck brain, like that the brain had become stagnant, probably in my teens when the trauma first happened. And for the first time, there was light. And I could come home, and even I tell you a good story about this. So when I first moved into this first little apartment, and there was a little mouse in my apartment that I wanted to get rid of or shift out. So I made on YouTube a makeshift trap to catch him and usher him out. And so I made this. I've got the photos. I will have to bring all the photos of me healing out, because I took photos of everything. I made this little ramp with toilet paper and a breadboard, and you're going to crawl up there and over the lounge, and a new breadboard across the top of the table, and in the edge of the lever I put a little bit of, I think, vegan cheese at the time, and then a bucket underneath. So he was going to crawl to the food and fall into the bucket, and I was going to usher him out. The moral of the story is that I didn't catch him. I think he took the vegan cheese and ran. I don't think he fell into the bucket. Anyway, the beautiful thing was, a year later, you know how you look back at photos? So photos came up in Apple shows you things that happened a year ago. And for the first time, it came up and I felt love and joy. So usually photos come up and I'm like, oh my God, that was just after surgery. I remember that got approved. That was when I could barely get down the stairs. That's how my brain worked. And so within a year, this photo, and I was just like sober, just having raw foods, and it was still COVID. But it was like, oh, I remember that. And so, like, all your little bits of work do work like towards something. But I do credit that that deep healer for me is that nature. It let me not fix my past. It didn't change anything, but it allowed me to kind of walk a lighter, a new path.
I love that story. And I love how you looked back on yourself and you found the joy. Oh yes. My gosh. I love that. That is precious. I love how clever you are to make that little mousetrap too.
Yeah.
And it is what you said too about eating. So the raw foods are so high vibrational, and just by shifting into more raw or all raw, you really do feel like, well, I really do feel my best. Like when I told you at the beginning of this, when I tried to go back to a meal of cooked vegan, the next day I got so sick. And if I would have kept eating cooked and eating cooked, it would have brought my vibration down. It would have, my thoughts would have been affected. So we're affected by everything. Us humans, we're so affected by sunlight, what we eat, what we drink, what we take in, what we read, what we watch. We're so affected by it all.
We are.
And even if you can make little shifts, so, have some fruit instead of, a cooked meal here or there. Walk out in your yard. If you can't go for a hike, great, walk barefoot in your yard.
Yes.
Walking barefoot gets you on the earth. It gets your body set to a natural resonance. Out in the sunshine, you're taking in all that beautiful light. Anything you can do little by little by little. And being in nature is so healing. It's like a really great place to start, because you can meditate, and I'm highly in favor of that. But I know a lot of people, they maybe don't want to, or don't have time, or don't feel like they want to. But you can always go for a little walk. Like, you can walk around your neighborhood, you can walk around your yard. You can always get out for a walk, and that helps to shift the situation. Like you said, it helps. It doesn't take away what happened, but it puts you in a different frame of mind, puts you in a higher state of consciousness. Keep track of your thoughts. Like, sometimes when thoughts come in, they're not even our own thoughts, or maybe they're not thoughts we want to think. So we can easily say cancel, or replace that thought with something higher vibration, as high a vibrational thought as you can get to.
Yeah, I have, so raw foods can make me feel amazing, but what puts me into true Skye, is nature and movement with it.
Yes.
So on the days that I've had the raw food, which is every day, but I've also had some sort of movement and been in nature. And when I've jumped in the freezing ocean, or like even in some of the hot ocean, because I'm totally immersed. But I did post a reel recently about a doctor talking about how grounding is free electrons. Like, we are having food to get electrons to run the body, the mitochondria, the ATP, the earth, and your feet on the ground, free electrons. The sun is stimulating and giving you free electrons, and also stimulating vitamins in the body. Like, a lot of the time, if we eat this dense food, we're trying to get electrons, but in the process, we're just deadening the battery, right? So there is so much out there. And like with me, I was in a funny little apartment. I would put soles of my feet on one little tree which stuck out of the cement, and there's a grassy knoll on the front of most homes. So it was cold and winter, my feet were muddy, but damn, it really helped, especially as I overcame my addictions at the start. I would literally, what helped me the most was 100% raw food, but also just nature, however that looks for somebody. And don't be fancy, because I've done this in psych hospitals where I've been locked up and you're only allowed out to this courtyard for weeks until you're let out into the yard out the front. And there's always nature. You'd be surprised. There's always nature. And flowers, because they're being cut. I always wanted plants. Someone will bring a plant, or someone in the bed next to me, there'll be flowers. Like, you'd be surprised. Nature. I remember when I was in some of my hospital experiences, like pots, I used to black out in the psych unit, and every time I came to, I'd see flowers, whether they were sitting on a shelf, whether some had fallen off on the ground. Like, you'd be surprised. And that's, I think, my awakening is, like, nature was talking back then, but this was all new to me. Like, if you start spending time in nature, you'll be see it in more places, and I think it can really help.
Yes.
So I love these. I've been playing in the woods, playing frisbee golf at the park.
Really good.
Yeah, these are like I got rid of my car, and I think every week I probably walk an extra 5 kilometers because of it. Like, I will need something from the little shop, so I can't get in the car, or something up the street, and it's just, even if I borrow my parents' car, I've got to walk to their place. So it's really helped be more active and outdoors even more.
Yeah, so that's great. And you can play with nature too. So, like, if it's raining, you can go outside and walk in the rain, like when you're little, how you would jump in mud puddles, and that can be so much fun, and it can be just different. So it can take you out of your everyday mundane, your thoughts, life's the same, or however, whatever you're going through. Go outside, play in the rain. It just changes things up for a little bit and just lifts your spirits. Be playful in the snow. Just go out and make a snowball. Maybe throw it at a tree. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so true. Like, I think part of what I did when I healed as well, and I still try to do this, but it was much easier when I guess I was just alone, is I was just a big kid. Like, what did I do as a kid? You can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't go and do anything reckless. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go down to the park and just throw a ball against a tree. Or just, I remember even when I was in a psychiatric hospital, when I first was allowed out the front, and there's nothing you can do. Those places are crazy. But I remember getting sticks and putting them around like a pretend fire. Like I used to do that as a kid. Like, it's funny what your brain does when you don't have any access to anything. But make believe, we've done a video on this, make believe brings it into fruition. The more you are like a kid, the more you start to look younger, your joints feel younger. Like, sit in that space. Like, we also put music on when I was healing, and I could get up. I couldn't remember my name half the time, but I could remember things from when I was really little, like dance routines and stuff. And I would try get my body moving by remembering them, and being in that kid space, I think, keeps me young.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, I love the rain.
Yeah.
It's really, I'll tell you, I don't know whether this has happened to you, and if someone's ever been juicing where you're really hydrated and the rain starts, it's almost like you feel part of the rain. Have you had this experience? When I'm really hydrated, I feel like I am the rain. It's interesting.
When I make juice, that's another thing that really lights me up. When I make juice, especially green juice, when I'm touching the celery, so I use celery, zucchini, cucumber, cilantro, lemon, ginger, and probably a green apple, turmeric. Whenever I'm washing the vegetables and then I'm chopping them, I get like electrified just by washing the vegetables, just by touching them, just by making the juice. I'm even as excited to make the juice as I am to drink it. Like, I just feel like, even talking about, my mouth starting to water. There's such a charge between the vegetables, and so electrified. So I can imagine, I don't think that I've tuned into making juice and feeling super hydrated and connecting with the rain, but I do feel super connected as I'm making juice, and I do feel connected when it rains. I love the sound of it. I always want to go out and run in the rain, and that can help too. All these are wonderful things to do to help to bring in your manifestations too, for what you want to bring in for the rest of the year on this amazing 8/8 portal.
I love that.
I'm so excited. Do you have any intentions that you want to share? Does anyone in the
does anyone want to share any of their intentions?
I'm so curious.
Oh my. I feel like my intention is being set more this half. So I feel like I was still trying to stabilize this first half of the year. And everything I do always resonates with love. So if I can run along the beach and just say, love, I love, I love, I love that. Like, I can go for 40 minutes in love. And so what you find when you come away from doing that is you start to go, oh my God, I love that. Like, the more you, and it's a practice, right?
Yes.
But I felt I was in a space where I hadn't completely adjusted into a more grounded space of love in this first part of the year. Like, it was basically New Year's Eve, I put in my hormone replacement. I now have more grounded foods, not as like cleansing. Like, I was more lighter foods before, and now I found my stability. And now I feel like I want to sit in tension of that more love always, but my love frequency has now changed, that I've got more energy to give in my career.
Nice.
So, but I had to stabilize myself before I can go out and give
Absolutely.
elsewhere. And that's like huge, is don't think that you'll fix your problems by giving. You'll literally break yourself more and more until you have that awakening. But yeah, I always, if I'm not stable, I will continue to work on me, and that comes and goes. But I feel I'm in a great space now where I'm very grounded. I found my routine. Everything isn't always perfect. I'm still learning, but more energy can be projected into my career again.
Oh, that's great. Really, really, really good.
So we've got here just everyone to be happy and healthy, peaceful and chill.
That's a great one.
I love it too. And the same one here. I think if you can come off the back of love with anything, love something, it's coming so deep from the heart that, it's a great place to start. Well, that's where I start. Where does my love compass direct me?
A fun thing to do too, and it kind of gets you out of bringing love out to nature, and you will feel it come back to you so strongly. Like, it's like that divine heavenly love. Like, it feels so restorative and peaceful. And I really like what you said, Skye, about finding your sense of being grounded, and then that replenishes you, and then you actually have more to give.
Yes.
I feel like for me, I get into a season of giving, 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 and just I feel like I drive myself crazy because I feel like I can't give enough. Like, what more can I give? And then I'm like, okay, now I'm depleted. Then I have to rest. And I'm thinking to myself, I really need to give myself this time more often too. Like you said, come into a restful season, whatever it is that I need to do, go for my hikes. That's what restores me, is to, if I overgive, is to go into nature, get back into my hiking, maybe do a day of just like fruits and juices, and allow myself to rest, allow myself to just have that time of not having to do anything, self-love, basically.
Yes.
More
That's what I do every day. And a lot of people are like, how do you get up so early and you make this and you make that and then you run off there? It's because I have to sit in self-love. Everything that people see that they're like, oh, that's amazing, are completely immersed in self-love. And then if that's not in harmony, is I have to work more on myself. I can't think that harmony displacement will be fixed by overgiving and burning myself out in another area of my life. It doesn't work like that. You have to come back and do that. Get up, sit in gratitude, go for a walk, make a green juice. If you can't get a lot of work done, it's okay to go have that rest. That sort of space, that is what my foundation is.
Yeah, because you're so amazing and you're always doing a live. I'm like, you just came back from being so ill, but now you're so healthy and vibrant and like lives all the time. How did you do that?
What I do share a lot, because I get a lot of messages. They're like, thank you for all you give, and you're so amazing. You help me so much. You guys help me so much. Like, just because you're not on a camera doesn't mean that I don't see you often on here, talk to you often, and feel so connected, and that I'm growing, because the more I share my trauma story in like love and light to help others, it helps heal me and it helps others. So it's like a
yes, you're giving to yourself, which flows out, which comes back. So
that's
giving
right.
and receiving is like a circle. Giving and receiving, giving and receiving. That's so great.
Yeah,
that's really, really, really good.
And with that, I do a weekly live where I kind of sum up the week, and I'm about to do some food making in the kitchen if anyone wants to join.
Yay! Yes.
So I'm going to have this. But it's been amazing. I love these.
Let's close it out. Let's just put our palms together and say namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.
Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Skye.
Thanks,
This was
guys. Thanks,
amazing.
everyone, for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you,
And we'll see
everyone.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.